Dear gracious and heavenly Father, God, I just thank you that right now, peace completely surrounds my friend in the mighty name of Jesus. God, I thank you that any reds and oranges and purples and blues, God, all over that radar that they watch so much, God, I just thank you that you begin to break up those storms, God, so safely and so sweetly, God, so that they know that it's you. God, I thank you that you just completely coat their house, God, in the oil, God, in the blood of the Lamb, and they don't worry. They just go to sleep and they just relax, God, because you've got them. You've always had them. Not a storm yet that's took them out, God. I thank you for that. God, I thank you that even now you're reminding them they don't got to set up to set watch, God, because you never sleep, God. And it's in Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen.
Hey friends, so it's loud out here. Come out, want to deadhead my flowers in the pots on the front porch. I'm just doing a quick check out here, seeing if I need to do any of these. So that's what we're doing. And then we're gonna go in and then go up on the front porch and do those, but are now under a tornado watch. Not a warning, but a watch nonetheless until 8 tonight. So, like I said earlier in my video yesterday, you know, I'm a little bit anxious, worse than I had been over them. And Kim is too. We've been talking and stuff, and I can tell she's anxious over them as well. So, and then Jonathan's at work, and he don't get off until anywhere from 2 to 5. He has to work overtime or anything like that. So, she's a little anxious about them too. So, been talking to her and saying, you know, whatever. There's really nothing you can do, so there's no point in worrying. But you also, you know, you can't help but worry. It's not something you can just turn off. So people don't understand that. I guess it's easier to preach stuff than it is to live it, kind of thing. So yeah, but I was just gonna come out and water my pots that was on the porch, my hanging pots, and I was like, I'm just gonna get them down and put them over here so that they can, you know, just catch rainwater, because that's better for them, the natural water and whatnot. Saturday, I guess it was, when we got some crazy winds, Wendy got my tomatoes and stuff and put them in safety. They smell very tomatoey. Not mad about it. Some of these, they should be changing pretty soon, because this is just little orange hat tomatoes, so they're small. And it's funny, these are the same tomato, and they was grew in my hydro garden. This one I left in there longer. This one I got out and put in my kitchen window, but this one was in the hydro garden quite a bit longer, a couple of weeks longer. And how bushy and thick it is, and even how much darker. Like, this isn't just the camera doing this. I think it's showing up for you guys. This is so much darker than this one. And it's also, this one's like tall and lanky, and this one's short and skinny. This is because I think it's hitting the top of the hydro garden. And see, fun stuff. I think it was hitting the top of the hydro garden, so it's making it go out instead of up. And then this one I had in the window, but I think I'm gonna trim that off because it's only healthy. But yeah, it's crazy the difference in them, but they're both producing tomatoes. One of them I accidentally trimmed off because it was getting really close to the ground. I think it was right here. And tomatoes don't like to be wet, and so it was just like, you know, it was soggy all the time. So I pulled it off, and it had a tomato on it, and I didn't know it, and I stuck it down in some soil. We'll go see if it's still alive. I checked a couple of days after I put it in the ground, and it was still alive. So I know you can root tomatoes, so I was kind of hoping that I could do that with it. But yeah, then we'll be edible very soon. I'm just going to move these to the outside because we are supposed to get heavy wind, but I would like it to get some natural. These I don't care about, so I'm going to put them back. So I'm actually going to clean those out and then just put this up for now so that I don't have stuff sitting in my window. You know, I can grow stuff outside right now. So these I'm just going to do away with. Probably give this to the goats or chickens or whatever. It's oregano, basil, and this is like kumatsu or something. It's sort of like, it's a green. But if they don't start storming on us first, I'm going to go through and deadhead these violas. And then we will go down and check that tomato if it's not raining. So, let's see. This is the tomato I was telling you about. So I accidentally done it. I don't think it might have been that big. I'm going to say it was that big. But it looks like it's still trying to live. I don't want to disrupt it too much because, you know, it's going to be getting roots from the bottom and whatnot. But, you know, he looks a little hopeful. Maybe he's trying to get some roots. And if anything, even if this doesn't, you know, do anything or whatever, this doesn't ever turn orange. If it gets roots, I'll have another one of these, which I'm not mad about. So that's okay. I went ahead and deadheaded these as well. Missed that one. And then sometimes I'm kind of like confused, like if it's dead or if it's just not coming alive, you know. And so when that's the case, I will just leave them. But also cleaned up these. So we got this cleaned up a little bit. Got a couple weeds in it we're gonna leave. All right, so I think I'm gonna start some rolls. I hadn't fully decided what we was gonna do for dinner, but I think we're gonna do mashed potatoes, green beans, and a meatloaf because I really want meatloaf. I made some like sort of meatloaf, which I guess it was meatloaf. It just didn't have typical like the meatloaf topping. A couple of, I guess it was last week or something, we didn't have no ketchup, and so I just used marinara with a little bit of brown sugar, and I don't even know what I used. I just threw a bunch of stuff together, and it was good. Even with that topping, John and Ellen ate it, but with ketchup, they won't. So I'm going to make myself a meatloaf. I think I'll probably just use like a portion of the pound of ground beef and that's what I'm going to do. Use half of it to make John a hamburger steak, and then use the other half to make myself a meatloaf, and then the kids can have chicken tenders because they will not eat what I'm making for me. So Lily won't eat ground beef anyways, but Nolan and Wendy definitely don't want meatloaf, and I don't think they like hamburger steak either. So that's what we're gonna do. But I need to, if I'm gonna make rolls, I need to get them started. Also, I'm a little worried that I'll get it all going and we'll lose power. We got lucky last time when we didn't lose power, but you never know. It like flickered, like it surged quite often, and it went out for like, I think it was literally like a minute. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Trying to decide about rolls. I wish I just had garlic bread because I would just pop that in the oven. We've been really enjoying that, but we only have 2 slices, and I was gonna do a grocery delivery this morning, but I wasn't exactly sure when the rain was going to get here. And my process is, if I don't want to go out in the rain to do it, I'm not going to schedule somebody else to do it for me in the rain. I know they're getting paid for it and whatever, but I just can't do it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to, you know, force somebody out to do it for me. So we'll get groceries delivered in the morning, but we need to, Lord willing, because if electric goes out tonight, then obviously we don't need groceries in the morning. Hoping that's not the case though. But anyways, we're gonna get started on dinner really quick. It's only 2 o'clock, but if I'm gonna make rolls, I need to get that started. That's what I'm trying to say. So maybe we need to go ahead and start them. I might do half a batch. I think that's what we're gonna do. That way they don't go to waste and whatnot. So anyways, I'm gonna get that in the bread machine, and then this is still a little bit frozen. My meatloaf actually will need a while to cook, so get this thawed out the rest of the way and get on my dinner. And I figured since I had already recorded a little bit this morning, we would go ahead and finish out the day with dinner. That's what we used to do all the time. My hair is looking really orange because it happens in the summer. My skin gets more tan, my hair gets more orange, and then I just let it go until I can't handle it no more, and then I usually dye it dark brown or black or something. Usually just dark brown, but it, you know, usually looks black a little bit. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get some rolls thawed in the bread maker, and I guess go ahead and get our meatloaf through together as well. Yeah, I was gonna say I might just do meatballs and do, oh, I might just do that. Might do the meatballs that Kim from Kim's Farmhouse does, because they are really good. And then me, John, and Nolan would all eat those. We'll see, and I'll let you know what we do. Come out and check John's work. He done a lot of work to this on Sunday. So it used to, and he knew that it would still hold water there. That was kind of the point of it. And it's gonna have like a little gutter, not gutter, a drain system built in there. But he done some work on it to try to help this hill not erode out as bad. And he done really good. He dug a temporary ditch, like I said, to help pull the water out of here and to run it down through there. And it is working beautifully, as you can see. I'm not going out there because it's still raining and it's still thundering, and that's scary. But it's doing really good. He's gonna be happy with that. I did decide that I'm going to do the meatballs that Kim shared, just because Wendy came in about 2 or 3. My kids always come in the kitchen and they're ready for dinner. I don't know why that happens, but it just does. And I try to hold them off until at least 4, but I told her that we was going to do chicken for them, and I was going to do a meatballs or something for me and John. And she asked what kind, and she approved of the ones that Kim made. So I'm going to just do those, because I get the same feel for meatloaf that way, and it's easier. I'm going to get them started, and then I want to go ahead. I really want to do some rolls. We might do an experiment. I might just mix up the stuff and see if I can just let it rise. Have one rise for like 30 or 40 minutes. We're going to do that. If anything, they'll be flatbread we can eat. But I'm going to go ahead and get it started. The storm is letting up that's here, and then I think we're supposed to like calm down, which is the one that we got actually wasn't that bad. But I don't think we're going to lose power, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything going, and that way it'll be done about 4. Okay, so for the roll experiment, we done the Happy Hooligans recipe that I have been following since my friend Erin sent it to me. And we're just going to do that, and then just as soon as the dough is mixed and kneaded together, I'm going to go ahead and make it out into 8 rolls, because I'm only doing half a recipe. And then I'll let it rise for about 30 minutes or so, maybe 40. I feel you would have better results if you did have, you know, say an hour to let it rise instead of just what I did. But with that being said, they did turn out just fine. I will share with you the final results. They tasted normal. They was a little bit denser than the typical Happy Hooligan rolls are, but I think that's just because it didn't get to rise as long. But they was delicious nonetheless, and I will definitely make them this way again when I'm in a pinch.
The seed. I think I don't know if these are looking northwest, but if you are in downtown Knoxville and you do look to the north and west, you'll see this big storm coming in, and it's gonna.
I think it was sometime last year. That my sweet friend Alma here on YouTube mentioned Orion Hall, y'all, and I have been watching him a lot lately, especially since my nerves have been more on edge with the storms. He is the one that I watched, vigorously, like I didn't take it off the screen whenever that tornado came through our town. And for this system, I have him on. If he's live, I had it playing at least in the background, especially when stuff is going on in Kentucky. So I'm really appreciative of Alma for telling me about him, because he has been my go-to for my storm worries and whatnot. I have been very much into the weather for the last week, needless to say, and I'm following all kinds of, weather people on Facebook and whatnot. And then his channel has been a great help for me. So I have that playing in the background, just getting an update on the current storm situation while I make this meatloaf. Like I mentioned earlier, this is from Kim at Kim's Farmhouse Life. I think that's her name. It's Kim's Farmhouse nonetheless. And I will have that recipe video linked down below for you so that you can make it yourself. We did modify it just a little bit. I didn't add the mustard to mine, and I had less than half a cup of brown sugar, so mine's a little less than what it's supposed to have for the sauce. And of course I had to add some W sauce to it as well. But I take that back, because I didn't use her meatloaf recipe, her meatball recipe. I just done my own thing. But I did use her sauce modified. But I will link her video down below so you can watch it.
the dark. 'Cause once you let the light in, you won't see the beautiful stars shining down from afar. No, I ain't afraid of the dark. I don't mind the rain, bringing life back. We can breathe again when dealing with the pain. No, I don't mind the rain. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go. Getting old don't bother me, 'cause with eyes that's been through life, it's so much easier to see who I am and who I wanna be. No, getting old don't bother me. Truth can be a bitter pill, but it'll do you right and set you free the way a lie never will. Like climbing up the steepest hill, but truth can be a bitter pill. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like the river flows, life will take you where you need to go. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. Ooh, like a river flows, life will take.
This is some icy mix that Wendy tried to make. We think it had too much sugar, so it wouldn't get thick enough. It's tiger's blood and blue raspberry. I'm gonna mix this with something, Sprite or like Mountain Dew knockoff, and make the kiddos and John a little treat to go on with dinner too. We use this thing literally every single day, so. I forgot that we still had one of these in the fridge, because we figured it had too much sugar in it. So we just saved them, and we used it the other day with some Sprite, and then it worked out really good. And then, so we're gonna do this one. We might do the knockoff Mountain Dew for this one. Yeah, we still had 2 of these, because we bought 2 of each this weekend to have for ices, slushies, whatever. Alive for the weather, and he said that he don't feel like it's gonna be like super bad, so we still have a chance of little spin up tornadoes, and then we have a pretty big chance of like high winds. He said that he thinks that's the biggest concern. We are under tornado watch until 2 in the morning, so I feel quite a bit better about it. I'm gonna get the goats put up. I am making Clovis stay in the house again. She hates it, but I just feel safer. That's one less thing I have to worry about if Clovis is in the house. So we're gonna leave her in the house with us. I'd be devastated if something happened to my goats and my chickens, but the dogs are, you know, obviously the most important, and I know that sounds bad, but the dogs are the most important. You actually can form a, you know, a really good bond with dogs, and maybe you can goats and chickens too. And I love mine, and I would be super mad. I mean, I'd be super sad and devastated if something happened to them, but dogs are just special. So, and obviously I can't keep the goats and chickens in the house, so I'm gonna make Clovis stay in the house. And the goats and chickens are also enclosed, you know. Clovis is out here. She has a house, but it's just, you know, it's a house for the goat. I mean, out here outside the goat shed. So, I'm gonna make her sleep in the house. Like I said, she's not gonna like it. Last time she was upset and a little bit crying, but better to be safe and a little upset. So, I wanted to go ahead and come out and get stuff closed up now because it says it's supposed to start storming in about. So y'all keep turning your water sideways, and that's why it just runs out so fast. All the critters situated and put away and whatnot, so that I can be in the house and not have to be, what are you doing? So I can be in the house and not have to worry about not coming back out in the mess once it starts. You gotta get the goat chickens some more water because they like just turn it sideways and whatnot. So it's kind of annoying, but that's what it is. It's just part of chicken pending is you gotta make sure that when they turn their water sideways and whatnot that you refill it. And we sit it on the ground too, but if I sit it on the ground, it can get dirty quicker than if I hang it up. So it's just pick your battle kind of thing. Typically, I'll have both. Like I have one hanging up, and then I'll have one on the ground. Especially if I'm just using the 1 gallons, because they can go through those pretty quickly. We have 9. We had 10, and then we recently lost one. Wendy, one of our little triplets that we called Shannon and Adu, the little Old English bantams. Wendy went out a few days ago and just found her laying in the bottom of the run dead, and we checked her out and stuff. Didn't see nothing, and that's just, you know, that's just part of chicken keeping, is any animal, but I think definitely chickens are, you know, one of the most common ones. You just lose them for no reason. So I mean, there might have been a reason, just no, there wasn't a visible reason. So either way, whether you have a visible reason or not, it still stinks, you know. So but anyways, we have 9, so they can go through water pretty quickly, especially if it's like really hot and whatnot. So we're just gonna go in the house and get prepared for bed. Continue praying that the weather stays calm, like they are, you know, now guessing and estimating that it is going to do. You know, sometimes they overhype situations, and that's what you hope for. You hope that they overhype it, not that they underhype it, or, you know, what happens, you know, if they think it's going to get bad, if it actually gets bad. You don't want them to be right. That's what I'm saying. But we're going to go ahead, get in the house, and get everything ready for bed. So, they're supposed to get high winds. That is one of the concerns that they speak about. And it's trash day tomorrow for recycle bin, so it's sitting by the road. So obviously it's recyclables, so it's going to be lightweight. So, I mean, it'd be a very small, happy issue if the only thing that happens is we got cardboard all across the road in the morning when we get up. So, alright, we're going to head in the house though and call it a night. So, we're thankful it didn't get as bad as it was supposed to, or they thought. And we're hoping it stays that way. And maybe we can catch a break. I think that the weather guy said that after this gets past us, we're supposed to get a break for a while. At least from severe weather. You know, at this point, we'll take a little rain. Even though I would be completely okay with a whole lot of warmth and sunshine. Need to get that pull up. But we'll see you next time. As always, remember to show grace, be content, live blessed. Bye, friends.
Life ain't perfect, but it's all we've got.